Hello, thank you so very much for tuning in. Today is July the 8th, 2011, and we will be continuing with the alphabet of M, but I wanted to give you a number of filler words because some of you, by now that you've reached this far in Gregg Shorthand, you know almost enough from what you've already been taught where some of you can even start writing letters probably. If you had a number of jump start or very quick crash course on a lot of filler words that we actually use in our everyday communication, whether that be in words or whether that be in writing or correspondence or typing or whatever. But here we're talking, and this is in conjunction with Gregg Shorthand. So I wanted to give you a jump start uh, on some of these words, and that way, hopefully, that'll encourage some of you to where you can actually go ahead and start practicing writing sentences and lines and maybe even letters. Okay, let's look at the word they. Now, the word they is actually just TH. There's your TH. We're starting at the bottom of the line here. TH, and it's an E. That's the word they. The word them is the same TH with an M added to it. That's TH and an M. Okay, let's look at the word then. The word then is THEN. Let's look at the word there. Now, please remember this on the word there. This is a TH, but the TH is facing you. It's not the TH the other way. Notice, this is THEN for them, THM for them, THE for they, but for there, the word there is not THER. It's just simply a TH that's facing you. So that's a very brief form for the word there. Okay, let's look at the word was. We use this quite a bit in our everyday uh, conversation. The word was is simply, it's not W-U-Z. It is true that it could be wrote that way, but in Gregg Shorthand, if we follow what John, Robert, Gregg, and some of them have just put in stone as far as with the way they wanted to teach Gregg Shorthand, they chose to say that the word was would be an O and an S. Okay, that's your O, and there's your S. Okay, right above the line because the S is like 1/3 the way up, so O and S is was. Now the word at and it is simply a T. Now if you remember, if we start at the top here and come down, that would be SH. But if we start at the bottom of the line and go up 1/3 between the line, it will stand for the word at or it. But it could also stand alone for the alphabet of T. Now let's look at the word what. The word what is not W-O-T, which it could be wrote that way. But the word what in Gregg Shorthand is simply O-T. Okay? Now let's look at the word was. So if you wanted to, for instance, write what was, you would just simply O-S. You'd add an O-S to that. You would add an O and an S. What was. Okay? And now, so you won't confuse that with the word what, let me erase that for now. And once again, even though I'm going fast, y'all can replay this later, and you can even freeze the screen on the board and just look upon the board and actually study it. Okay? Let's look at the word then. The word then is T-H-E-N. Let's look at the word these. It's T-H-E-S, these. Now the word can is a very brief form. Instead of K-A-N, it is just a K. If you remember the phrases, can you recall? That phrase, can you recall, that's used in courts quite a bit, courtrooms quite a bit. Well, we covered that on a previous lesson, but even though I showed you the word can in a previous lesson, I'm showing it to you again. It doesn't hurt to review. So the word can is just a K. Okay, let's look at the word there. Once again, there is TH. Okay. Now, if we would have went halfway up, it would have been in NT. If we would have went all the way up, it would have been ND for the word and, A-N-D. Now, the word and, A-N-D, is what you're actually going to use more than any other word probably in the English language. We use that word, it seems, more than any other word, and. And the word and, if you remember, you start at the bottom line and you just make a stroke all the way up like a half moon up to the top line. Okay, now let's look at the word this. Now the word this, actually, if you're not careful, this would look like a U. If you remember in Gregg Shorthand, a U looks almost exactly like that. But if you notice, this has a little point to the end instead of having a roundness to the top. Instead of being rounded, it comes up like a TH, okay? There's your TH from here to there. And then you make a sharp swing back for the S, and that should make a little point on the end there. And that helps you differentiate from the word you and the word this. Okay, he is simply H-E. Now there are some editions of shorthand that will actually tell you can write the word he with just a simple E. Okay, she is S-H-E. Okay, now once again, because we came down, it's an S-H. If we start here and go up a third, it's a T. Okay, so S-H-E is she. Okay, and the word the is just simply a T-H. The word world is just simply two U's connected. The word world is two U's connected. Okay, now over here we have the word held, H-E-L-D, and the word heard, H-E-R-D. I want to elaborate on those two words in a minute, in just a moment, and show and do a quick review about the LD, words that end with LD. Let me erase this. Okay. Let's see, I can leave some of this on here. Well, cross this off, let's see. So I can go ahead and get to these other lines here. I want to cover that. Okay, let's look at the word heard and the word held. Okay, now the word held, H-E-L-D, and the word heard, H-E-R-D, or H-E-A-R-D. Now, the way the word held, notice it ends with an L-D. The word held will be H. Remember, when the dot's above the line, it becomes an H. H-E, there's your E, okay? L, there's your L. Now, it is true. You can take a D and just go straight out and make a D. But in choosing between all the series, I've studied through a bunch of them. I've purchased over the years a number of different series that Gregg Shorthand had, how it had been modified throughout the years and amended, and they had made some improvements. It's better to, instead of making a D straight out like that and expending that much more energy and making a longer stroke, just curl the L around a little bit. Just curl it around, and that becomes LD. In other words, H-E, there's your L, curl it around a little bit, and then that's H-E-L-D. You know it ends with L-D. Now let's look at the word heard. That would be H-E, okay, there's your H, there's your E, here's your R, there's just your R, okay, that's the word her, but heard, let's curl it around a little bit. See, that saves us from having to go way up in the air with the D, and it's quicker. So H-E-R, and because we curled it around, it's H-E-R-D. So any words that end with R-D or L-D, L-D at the end of the L, we're going to curl it around a little bit. That way you know that's L-D. With heard, we're going to curl that R a little bit around a little bit, and that way we're going to know with that little bitty hook facing this. This is going to be R-D, that's going to be L-D, okay? This word here, H-E-A-R-D, remember in Gregg Shorthand we write by sound. So it's H-E-R-D. It's the same as that. But you might say, well, what about the word would, W-O-U-L-D? Since the word would, W-O-U-L-D, is just a D, why, and since we write by sound, why don't we write the word would, W-O-O-D, the same way? Do you know the only way I can reasonably answer that is that those that originated Gregg Shorthand, those who decided to just leave it like it was, and John Robert Gregg, he decided to write that word would not the same way as W-O-U-L-D. The word wood that we chop fire with would be actually W-U-D, okay? So that would, and the word W-O-U-L-D, which is just a D, that is an exception to the rule in Gregg Shorthand, where we just don't stay with the sound only. And there is one other exception, like the words R. For instance, like the word A-R-E, R is just an R. Okay, R is just an R. But if you write the word O-R, then in Gregg Shorthand, it's O-R. So there are some exceptions to the rule with writing by sound only. And those about just right off, I can't think of any more. Those might be the only exceptions, but there might be more. I just can't think of it right now. I haven't been up long. I'm kind of windblown, a little addled a little bit, still a little tired, sleepy. But anyway, I'll thank you for tuning in. I'm running out of hard drive space. I need to get an external hard drive, and that's why I've tried to do a video even before this one, days earlier, and it just wouldn't let the sound go through. So I think it's a hard drive issue. I need to get an external hard drive, and I do hope to finish these lessons out all the way to the end. And I know I told you we was going to the alphabet of M today. We'll have to carry that on into the next lesson because I'm almost out of time. I thank you for tuning in. I appreciate all the emails that some of you have been sending, encouraging me and telling me how you're so very thankful that this is actually being taught to you on a board. That way you don't have to crack a book open, and you can just sit back in the comfort of your home and enjoy the instruction and learn something that you've never known before right there in the comfort of your home. Just like I myself do, I tune into videos and I enjoy the instruction of other people's videos of different fields of knowledge, and it keeps me from having to attend a class somewhere or to crack open a book on some things myself. So I thank you for tuning in, and if you need to know anything of a personal issue that goes a little beyond what I haven't covered so far and you think you need to know right now concerning shorthand, just send me an email. And I thank you so much for tuning in. Have a nice day.